Sermon 15 was at the time that Ali was continuing the land grants that were authorized by Uthman, or he was continuing in that process with other stuff. Kind of reminds you of the origin of the term pagan, because the Romans would divide things into plots when they conquered land and divided it among the soldiers and such. You know, it had nothing to do with religion that people were pagan. It was that, society was so ordered. And one of the things about the war treasures is that it's to help the populace, to encourage marriage, to hire helpers, or to distribute. To that extent. Even when it seems difficult to do what is right, you should form this idea of it being more difficult to do what is wrong. And the letter we're not seeing letter 15 here. We have the instruction at Sufyan, and then we have 16 is what used to be said at the time of battle. And so, get back to that in a second here. But saying number 15 reminds us that destiny includes everything. And sometimes, rather than longer life or whatever you think is going to happen, death happens. But let us remember, Islam has this teaching about destiny. And this teaching about destiny is that not only your lifespan and your provision or wealth or whatever you want to call it, destiny involves where you're going to go, how good or bad you're going to be, and the more you look into it, the more one can find that one's decisions definitely affect all of them. But you make the right decision. You don't just say, well, am I going to get wealthier? Am I going, by doing this job or doing this task or whatever. I may have had more wealth pass through my hands by turning down the job offer by a gangster who realized some of my capabilities. And, because, what was it, a year and a half later, the same address he gave me, they arrested like 36 people at that place. So, yeah. And we should remember that war, rather than some, show of political power, is something by which we safeguard the rights of ourselves, the rights of the other oppressed. And certainly, if possible, we try to reason with the enemy. And if there's problems with how you feel with your emotions in regards to what's right, and those who are doing right, that's going to be made manifest at some point. And yeah, there's something missing here, because we're not seeing 15 and 16. So feel free to comment if you have letter 15, what it's about. One of the things that Prophet Muhammad said was that Ali's wars would be his wars. And, there would be a punishment in regards to that. But Ali said that those who ran away were not to be, chased down and hurt like that. Well, not, here comes the enemy out to battle, and, but those who fleed and didn't take part, that was the thing. And when you go out to war, you definitely got to guard the people, that aren't part of the battle contingency too. And the whole purpose of war should center around ending tyranny. And not everyone who does things that are un-Islamic or against Islam is to be punished. And, as long as they aren't violating certain rights of others, fighting them or war is not allowed. As I'm recording this, some stuff's going on with Sweden and stuff, and Sweden's causing some problems, and maybe they're worse for it than what is being done against them or the embassies or whatever. But the thing is that in Islam, we don't go after people for that. And the general response